You know what
We'll
I have
get
on my
there.
phone right now, and I have to delete it. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now.
Whoa.
LinkedIn. Oh gosh, I just see it, and I'm just like, oh, let me see what's happened in my professional network. No, there it goes. It's out.
Well, honestly, LinkedIn is a reflex.
I don't want to know. LinkedIn is a massive reflex.
Yeah.
All right, it's gone. I took
right.
it off. There you go. You heard it here first.
Wow.
I'm proud of you.
Great
Gonna
work.
be back later.
Hello and welcome to Tech About Town, brought to you by Communitech and Elevate IP. My name is Alex Kinsella.
And I'm Sarah McFarlane.
So we've got a guest in the studio today. Pretty excited about this one. And the reason I'm excited is because one of the things we talk about constantly on the show is that tech isn't just about code or hardware. It's about the people who build it and the community that supports them. And if you've been a part of the Waterloo Region community for any length of time, you know that building a truly inclusive community takes work, passion, and boots on the ground leadership. And that's why I'm excited for today's guest. She's a software engineer, a longtime community builder, and the driving force behind Gender Equity Tech Waterloo. Samantha Campbell, welcome to the studio.
Hello.
So today, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about Girl Geek dinners, to launching Gender Equity Tech Waterloo, and how you're creating spaces for women and gender diverse people in our community. But really, the big thing we want to talk about is equity and actually how we make it happen and just stop talking about it.
Absolutely. And I think, and I've posted a lot about this, is that equity only comes from a place of authenticity. We can't just grab it off of a list of values. We can't just make it some sort of objective. We have to truly believe it, and we have to truly build it. And so being authentically part of the community and just interacting with other humans, you see really quickly what's going on and what's needed. And sometimes people just need a space where they feel that they're seen and heard and celebrated. And sometimes we need to stop maybe focusing on all the negative. Like, I know it's hard to be a woman in tech. Everybody knows it's really, really, really hard. So instead of focusing on all of the ways it's hard, we're going to celebrate the achievements, what's making it good, how people are overcoming it, what they're passionate about. Stop drilling in the negative and just start celebrating the positive. And all of a sudden you're building a really awesome community.
So you spent years running Girl Geek dinners here in Waterloo, which were such a staple in the community. What was the moment or realization that made you say that it was time for something new?
Yeah, so Girl Geek Dinners was a global initiative. It actually started in the UK. And I was the third iteration of leadership in Waterloo Region. So there were two amazing leaders before me who had just moved on. And I had joined as their website tech person, and then just loved it, loved the community, and eventually took it over. And then we ran it for 3 years, and we grew it to over 1,200 members locally. It was phenomenal. And we were in a time in Waterloo Region where everyone had a really cool tech space. You could wander around, see all these cool things, see places with slides, see places with art, see places with living walls, right? And then the world got weird and everything shut down. And the format that made Girl Geek Dinner successful was that it was an in-person dinner, and we could no longer have that. The online format just didn't work. And honestly, I was tired. It was like running a small wedding every single month for 60 people, getting dinner, getting sponsorship, setting up the space, finding a speaker. And there's no pay for that. And running a team of 7 people. So I felt like I was ready to wind it down. And then we fast forward a couple years, everything's reopening, and I get contacted by Sarah Beth, who was running her own coaching business. And she told me that so many of her clients missed the dinners and she wanted to bring them back. And I said, you know what? I would love to be a part of this, but I can't own it again. I can't do it. But I will bring you in full transparency. And if you're willing to take on this new thing, I will hand over what's left of the Girl Geek dinners. We had a little bit of funding left. And we'll make this what the community wants. And so she had the idea of rebranding it to Gender Equity Tech and calling it Get-Togethers. And I was like, yes. So we paid a woman to come in and redesign the logo, get together all the collateral, and we just relaunched. And I think that's what it is. It's like there's no waiting. Like if you see something missing, go and do it. We weren't in competition with anything else. We were just excited to like bring it back. So yeah, our first dinner was like 12 people. And that's it now. We're trying to convince people to come out of their homes. But our last dinner was, I think, 46 plus all the mentors and the volunteers, right? So just consistently showing up and showing that we want to be there is rebuilding this community.
And you mentioned the spaces, like that's a big thing. I always think of Hacker Nest when that was still, like, I guess Hacker Nest is still around, but not locally. But you could go and tour other spaces, and you had dinners at other spaces. Where do you bring people together now?
Yeah, so we're members of the Builders Club, which allows us to throw events in their awesome event spaces. We've also partnered with Den and gone in and used their space. We partnered with Magnet Forensics last year and used their space. So there are still really cool, awesome people. Skywatch has a gorgeous space.
Oh, yeah.
So there's still those connections. There's just fewer of them. And before, when you had like 600 people in an office, now maybe you have like 20. So it's like convincing people to come in person, really, and come out of their homes and their shells. But once they do, they're back every month. So
when you're reaching out to companies like Magnet and Skywatch and others, what's the feedback from them on the events? And we talked about this before the show started. There's obviously a big pullback from like diversity, equity, and inclusion programming and sponsorships and things like that. But do you see them, like, does that come up in the conversation about like it's still important to these organizations?
Yeah. And so the Canadian organizations still have our values and want to support these initiatives. A lot of the times we have an internal advocate, so somebody within the company already that can champion us, and we give them like a little document that they can bring to their leadership to talk about the value. And so that really helps. A lot of the larger organizations, though, where we used to get sponsorship have pulled back, especially if they're a global organization working a lot in the States right now. We know that DEI initiatives are just gone. That a lot of internal programming is being taken away from the employees and given to like HR functions. So a lot of the places where you would just go and you would show up and you would be like, hey, I have 60 women. We're excited to see your space, learn more about your company. Maybe we can find an internal speaker. That used to be it. That used to be the whole pitch. And I would walk up and everyone would be like, yeah. And we can run these like reasonably cheaply. They're not a big cost for any of the companies that we go to. So yeah, it was sad, and I shouldn't be surprised that we were so surprised. But we were, that it got a little bit harder from multiple angles, from not just people going to remote and offices being closed, but from actual diversity and equity and inclusion initiatives just being completely shut down. And it's not that the employees wanted this. I've talked to a lot of them. It's from the organizational level. And it's just someone that they don't even know making a policy that affects everybody.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that our local community wants to support itself. So I will approach the local companies and talk to them about different events or run things that feel good to me. That's the good thing about running your own company or helping run gender equity tech. Like, we can make sure that things match our values, and like, we don't need to tell you anything. Like, we've shown you.
So in addition to events, you're also an instructor at Conestoga College.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How did you get involved with that, and what do you get out of it?
Yeah, that's another connection through the amazing Sarah Beth. So when I emerged from what I'll just call the dark times, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had gone through 4 exits in 2 years, all kinds of different things, from companies just moving to the States to running out of money, to just not being a good fit. And I was like, that's crazy. I'm the kind of person that wants to join a company and be there for like 5 years and really contribute. And so I loved teaching. I had been teaching for free, going into different classrooms in the region and teaching, going to different programs at the museum and teaching. And so I really considered retraining and just going and being a high school teacher. And so Sarah Beth, who is my business coach, was like, hey, what if you just tried it? Like, you don't actually need to retrain. You can go to a place like Conestoga or online schools and just see if it's a good fit for you. So that's how that happened. Ended up joining Conestoga as a part-time instructor. And I also joined an online school called STEM the Gap Academy, which teaches girls under 10 coding and cybersecurity. And I loved both. I loved the in-person teaching. I loved the online teaching. I loved connecting with the students. It's how I got my groove back, right? And then I was like, I don't see this as a full-time dream for me. So how do I combine education with my software engineering background? And that turned into my consultancy, Pixel Bridges, where we help primarily women remove the technical barriers to running their business successfully. And it's so cool. So now I get to work with amazing small businesses. I still get to teach. I still get to be a part of the community through gender equity tech and also running my own events. And it feels amazing right now. Like, I'm in a really good place, and I didn't even imagine it a year ago.
Yeah, that's a pretty big change.
It's huge.
In a calendar year.
Yeah.
With your consultancy, that's an interesting one, because can you give an example of like what one of those like tech barriers would be for a client? Like, obviously.
Absolutely. So I'm really going on an ask me anything approach because I wanted to use this to inform my own software products. So I really went out into the community and I was like, you give me your problem, I'll either solve it or find the person who can. So my first client was a registered nurse who was like, I want to run mental health webinars, but I'm a nurse. I don't know how to do that. How do I do that? And so we set her up everything from like Eventbrite to Zoom to some Zapier to some email automation. And so now she has a package that's repeatable that lets her run webinars. To the bigger clients who are like, I want you to go and migrate my website, improve the SEO, et cetera, or even like build a custom application. They have an idea in their head. And I've been doing this for 10 years. So we can get together an MVP through like what I've been calling like Skellatape and a whole bunch of services really quickly. And then they can use that to raise and go through their process. And it's really cool to be able to kind of like support that broad of a range. And I just focused on women because that's just primarily the networking groups I'm a part of. And I could see problems that I could solve.
So in your consultancy in general, or just like in all the work that you do, how have you seen AI start to impact it?
AI just is. I think you can be mad about it. You can be happy about it. It is what it is. But there's this narrative that's been built around it that it can just do anything. So a lot of non-technical business owners are like, okay, I've heard about AI, but where is it? Like, what AI? Show me the AI and have it like fix my problem. I laugh and I laugh and I laugh, right? Because it's not there yet. I'm not worried about it replacing me. I'm going with the flow of it. I will learn all the tools. I will study the ethical implications, and I'll put it into my workflows where it makes sense, and I'll teach people the same. I think I was frustrated like everybody else was. I went through the same kind of like grieving cycle for the way it was. And now I'm at acceptance, and I am just embracing it where I can.
I always, my thing with AI, and I see the impact I write,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, I feel worse for software developers. Sorry. Just because it seems to do pretty okay-ish at it for certain things. And writing, it's getting better. But when my dad's a photographer, and when digital came out, the first digital cameras, and it started to get like professional people started adopting them, he was in that grieving process where he's like, I have a dark room, I have all this stuff,
Yeah.
and now it's all digital. And he actually went, God, he must have been 50 something when he did it. And he went to New York for like a week-long digital photo boot camp and came back, learned it all, and continued to shoot digital for the rest of his career. And now I laugh because everyone's out there shooting film.
Yep. It always goes back.
Everyone's
right?
so excited to shoot film. I shot film at my kid's rugby game, and all the kids were like, oh, it's on film. This is so great. And I'm like, yeah. Cost me $60 for 12 photos, but sure, it's fantastic.
I don't know. Like, people, as much as things go digital, we still want something tangible. Like, that's the reason we're still collecting movies and records and houses full of crap, right?
Print's not dead.
Yeah.
As a Toque magazine, people will tell you, shout out Toque. No Toque.
No.
You don't know Toque magazine?
No.
What?
I have no idea what
Do you
that
know
is.
Toque magazine?
I don't know. I feel like I should. I'm scared now.
It's like the free, like the magazine, like it's like a local, it's like out of Guelph, so it's local-ish,
Okay.
but it has KW stuff in it, and it's like in the lobby, like they have them like stacks of them.
Never
seen it?
noticed.
Wow.
Sorry.
What?
I'll go look after.
I'll have to go.
Yeah.
I'll have to. It's a husband and wife designer,
Oh, cute.
developer, or not designer, developer, designer writers, and they
Nice.
make this really nice. Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Maybe I'll cut that out of the episode. And shout
All
out to
right,
Took, and then everyone in the room knows exactly what Took is.
Yeah.
Sorry, we always get on fun tangents, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
no worries.
Okay, so I want to get a little tactical.
Yeah.
So as obviously in the world, there's a whole bunch of challenges to what people were trying to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. You mentioned before we started recording, you mentioned about like authenticity in doing these things. So if you're a company here in Waterloo Region and you're either currently running some form of DEI program or you're a new startup and it's like, hey, we know it's important to our team, how would you as a leader, how would you advise leaders to be authentic in how they do it? Like, is there like a, I don't want to say that, like, is there a pattern or a toolbox or a I hate saying best practices, but how do you do it in a way that actually represents you and your team and your business and your customers?
Yeah. So you think about your business first and the values of your business and your goals, and you find alignment within the community. So there's just things that give me the icks, right? If I hear that a company is prioritizing hiring women or like they've introduced some, I don't know, new set of values, right? We talked before that like, we don't need to read anything as consumers, as people in the community, like companies will show us their values through their actions, right? And so I would lean away from the pieces that are performative. I wouldn't put a single thing up on your website until you've actually done something. And that could be honestly just showing up, like send somebody to a community event in the region that you're in and see what's going on and talk to the actual humans and find alignment that way. When we talk about authenticity, it really does mean just going out and being yourself, not an avatar for your company, not someone with a sales goal. If your goal truly is diversity and equity and inclusion, then you're just going to live that and be a part of it. I wouldn't make the first step just being like, I'm going to throw a party and invite all of the women, right? Like that's performative. That's really cringy. I would go out and maybe do a partnership with another local group. The local groups are not in competition as much as people want to try and make us. There could be 50 different women's groups, 50 different like Spectrum Waterloo regions or gender equity techs, and we would all be so excited because it's necessary work and it's celebratory. And we don't always want to focus on the negative. We want to hype people up. And so if there's companies that want to be a part of that, why would we not invite them into our community?
I do a lot of work in construction.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting is around hygiene on construction sites and how critical it is. And so a lot, like there's a new rule for like, if you have a site and it's more than 10 people, you have to have washrooms with running water versus like Johnny on the spots.
Mm-hmm.
So you have nice Johnny on the spots is what you end up having. But around having like tampons and pads in washrooms, actually in all washrooms, makes everyone think that women are using the washrooms. And so then men treat the washrooms better.
Oh, interesting.
So then men have cleaner washrooms because men also would like, it's not all, like I like a nice washroom. I like a clean washroom, right? I don't want to, so it's interesting how like when you do those kind of things that make the space inclusive,
right?
You make it better for everybody, not just, and I think that's always the misconception around like DEI, which is like, it's just for a specific group. I'm like, no, the whole thing is it makes life better for hopefully everybody.
Right. And people treat it like it's like a checkbox or something when it's just existing as human beings.
Yeah. That's your performative thing, right?
Right?
Not your performative, but that's
right.
You're not performative, but the performative
exactly.
DEI
and they're
stuff.
like, oh, I'll get to like put a page on my website. Or my favorite is those awards that companies pay to apply to be considered and then put the logo on their website after. And like, there's just so much of that. And yes, it's a good signal from the company if they have some of those things that at least there's some caring towards it. But it was crazy how quickly all of those sites got taken down, how all of those policies just got put in a drawer somewhere, right? And that's the performative piece of it. You need to actually do the actions, do the things. So not just a page that can be taken away when some bigger policy shifts.
You have a full-time career as a software engineer, yet you still pour so much energy into building these spaces for other people. What keeps you going? What specific about this community recharges you after a long week?
Yeah, I used to think that I was entirely an introvert, that going out and being social took away my energy. And I realized that was incorrect. It was going out and like having a meeting that was taking my energy, or like the endless Zoom calls was taking my energy. Going out without an agenda and just socializing, hearing people's stories, celebrating them, that gives me energy. That's what kind of motivates me to continue going week after week. And so even if there's not a gender equity tech event, or if I'm not involved, you'll see I still end up making up my own events and just doing it anyway, because something in me just wants to be that person, just wants to create those spaces. And I just get so much joy from connecting with people and watching their journeys. And like when they thrive, I keep calling it like happy mother hen energy, or like, I just want to boast, like I want to share it. And I learned that about myself, and now I'm just leaning into it. And we talk a lot about things that take our energy. And I realized that what was taking my energy was building the wrong people's dreams. Now I work with people who I want to work with. I build spaces that I want to build, and I'm happy, like in a really amazing way. And I'm kind of even like surprised as I say that right now, but like building this together with Sarah Beth and the other amazing women in our community is just brought back such joy. That's why I keep saying like teaching just feels correct. It kind of was like a Lego snap moment. And then that naturally turned into building my business. And next year we'll be turning into like building my own software products, right? I'm hyped. And I wasn't for a long time, I think, as we all were in this land of like isolation and what the heck is going on. And I'm trying not to let change be the thing that's fearful. Like there's going to be an AI, there's going to be a next iteration of whatever that is. The only thing I know for certain is that if you work in tech 5 years from now, it's going to look completely different than it does today. So I'm going with it. I'm embracing it. And I don't know, people can make fun of me for running my life on vibes, but it's working. So
I like running my life on vibes.
Yeah.
What about in town? Like what kind of gets you inspired?
Well, the people are coming back out, right? We see events again where there's actual humans. The mentoring speakeasy, we brought together 10 amazing mentors and over 40 attendees, and people were talking and laughing, and it was so celebratory and so like, I don't know, the opposite of the depressing kind of women in tech panels that we've seen. And so I can see that shift to like, yes, things are hard. We recognize they're hard. Let's find solutions and celebrate them. I see it through Gender Equity Tech. I see it through the Waterloo Region Small Business Center, through Communitech. Like all of the stuff is starting to, it's like spring, like we're all underground and everyone's starting to pop up again, even though we're getting into winter. So maybe that methodology doesn't work, but we'll use it anyway.
It's aspirational.
Yeah.
It's aspirational, as we have Us No Skull watch,
Right.
Yeah.
which doesn't look like much right now. And I've just jinxed us for the
Right.
rest of the
Right,
weekend.
right.
It's just going to be a wall out there. For anyone who's looking to get involved with Gender Equity Tech, or for consultancy,
Yeah.
those kind of things, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so Gender Equity Tech is really active on LinkedIn. You can go find the page there. And for Pixel Bridges, you can check out the website at pixelbridges.ca.
I just deleted LinkedIn off my phone too.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got to go put it back.
I know. I
So
told you
can-
it would be back.
I can get involved in that.
You
What is
only
it?
lasted 30 minutes.
What? I know. That's the problem. What if someone wanted to join my professional network? Now I don't know. I have to
Too
wait till I
bad.
get my laptop, which is
Yeah.
like right by my feet,
Yeah.
and look there. Yeah, that's not healthy. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really good. I'm glad we got a chance to finally like sit down and chat for.
Yeah,
a
this
bit of
was
time.
cool. Definitely want to hype up the local women's networking groups. So we have like Gender Equity Tech. We have the Women in Communications. And then, of course, anything that's going on through Communitech. So it's really cool to see.
We'll have links to all of those in the show notes so you can get involved. If you have any questions, you can always contact us, hit us up on social media, even LinkedIn, which I deleted off my phone. You can connect with me, I guess, but it's really about Communitech. So you should connect with Communitech on LinkedIn or Instagram at Communitech on both of those. If you ever have ideas for guests, we're always interested to hear those. And if you have questions about how Communitech can help you start, grow, and succeed your tech business, visit communitech.ca. Thanks again.
Thank you.